Hi, this is Abul Hussain coming to you direct from London, the United Kingdom, and welcome to another episode of the SMMA Mastermind podcast, where we talk about how you can start or scale your digital marketing agency. And we also bring on subject matter experts to share their wisdom so that we can deliver better results for our clients. Now, if you are watching this interview outside of our Facebook group, find the link above or below this video or go to smmamastermind.com, especially if you're in the agency community. Now, with that out of the way, I have a very special guest joining me all the way from Michigan in the US. Her name is Gabrielle Sinacola, and she is the founder of Luminaria, which is a digital marketing agency that focuses, well, she will tell us exactly what she focuses on. Gabrielle, welcome to the show.
Yes, hello. Hi, thank you so much for having me. As you gave me a little bit of an intro already, I do run Luminaria. It's a digital marketing agency, and we really do holistic solutions for many of our clients, social media management as well. So that's where a lot of our work is, but we always start with the foundations of SEO, and we've had some projects here and there that don't necessarily fit within those guidelines.
Mhm.
So we try to be a holistic digital marketing solution for our clients.
Awesome, awesome. And you've dived right into my first question, really, there, which I was going to ask you. For people who don't know who you are, how did you get into the digital marketing space? What's your story?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I have a little bit of a unconventional story. I was in college and I was majoring in computer science and business. So I was an engineering student. And pretty quickly I realized that's not for me, that wasn't what I wanted to be doing. But I did love the merging of technology and business and, all that those opportunities that opened up for me in my career, and also just for the different types of businesses out there. So I ended up having one elective credit available, and on a recommendation from my friend, I took this digital marketing course with a professor at USC, at the University of Southern California. And he's not a full-time professor, he's a lecturer. So he teaches this one class. I got super lucky and I fit it into my schedule. And it was kind of just a crash course on digital marketing. And we got to work with real startups in the LA area as part of our project. And almost immediately as that semester started, I knew that, that is for me and that's what I want to be doing. That's where I feel I could have a great impact. And so, immediately after that, I continued working with that client and started bringing on my own clients. And here we are more than a year later. I started Luminaria and we've been doing that ever since.
That's awesome. That's a great story. So is there a particular industry that you focus on, or are you taking on any clients who might be a good fit for you?
So in the beginning, I was really focusing on, startups. They had a high tech focus. That was just where my knowledge and expertise was coming from. But as I started to work with more, it's kind of branched out into various different industries, and as well as some local small businesses. I like to help out wherever I can, but we definitely have a strong focus in the startup community, and in tech startups. So that's kind of where our expertise is.
Right. Okay. Well, I hope they're not paying you in shares and you're gonna cash in into a unicorn business in a couple of years' time. Well, good for you if that's the case.
Yeah.
Now, we're here to obviously discuss content marketing, and a lot of people have different notions of when they hear the word content marketing. It's a bit of a buzzword. How would you break content marketing down into a simple definition?
Absolutely. And I would totally agree with you. There's a lot of different definitions out there. But what I like to think about it is anything that your business is going to put out there on the internet is content. And so all of that would be under the umbrella of content marketing. So that will include your website, your social media platforms, any press and interviews, all of that, your email newsletter. So even if it's just for a small private group of people, all of that is content marketing. And so that all fits under the umbrella of what we take care of for our clients.
Right. Okay. And obviously, with a lot of businesses, you see, I suppose, a disparate amount of contents. They might be doing a bit of email, but their website is totally rubbish, or they might have a blog, but nobody's reading it, or it's not ranking or anything like that. What does a content marketing strategy, a good content marketing strategy, consist of?
So with all of our clients, we start with the foundation of their website because any content that you're putting out there is really has the goal of driving people back to your site and ultimately to make a sale. So we start with the website and we check all of the SEO. So we do a full SEO audit and make sure that all of your foundational items are in place. And if any, major changes need to be done, that's what we prioritize first. And then going on that, we mainly work with a blog for the website. So while we do, optimize all of the pages, we start with the blog to start building out the content strategy. And then from there, we do a lot of keyword research and a lot of time and effort goes into creating really valuable blog posts that are highly targeted to their specific audience. And then from there, we try to use all that hard work and repurpose it as much as possible. So for blog posts, for example, we'll turn it into multiple different types of social media posts. And then that helps to influence your social strategy. And in terms of ranking and driving more traffic, we also implement a backlink strategy and PR and guest posting. So all of those working in tandem to really drive traffic to a company's website from their ideal client and then play into making sales and really helping them grow.
Right. And obviously we know content marketing compared to PPC or paid social or running advertising is obviously a bit of a slower strategy. How long does it really take? Because I get different answers all the time to see a content marketing strategy to deliver results.
Yeah, so it really depends on the company and what stage they're in. For example, I started working with a startup that was pretty well established and they had a strong content strategy already in place. And so it's really hard to see a huge growth in the beginning. However, it is easier to see growth because they already have traffic. And so you have those metrics to go off of. But I would say for brands who are kind of just starting to ramp up their content strategy, that it is going to take, 3 to 6 months to really see a big spike in your website traffic. And your social media, however, will probably take only 1 to 2 months because those tend to grow a little bit faster, a little more engagement. You have more control over, going out and seeking your ideal customer more so than your website. But if you're doing it right, you can help drive that traffic back to the website. And so I would say 3 to 6 months is where you're really going to start to see good results.
And you touched upon social media there. A lot of people who might be starting up or well, at least starting to build their social media presence, they might think, well, I do not have an audience. What's the point of creating content? How do you tackle that challenge?
So that objection is, it's a funny one to get because you don't have an audience, but you want an audience. So you're going to need to do what you need to do to build an audience. And so that's kind of where we start. You need a social media presence. It's going to start somewhere and you build it up. So, you have to get over those growing pains a little bit. But of course, if you're making good content and it's targeting your audience, the idea of a good content strategy is not to be, adding more and more things to your plate. So when we work with our clients, we really try to let them hand off as much as possible. And when we put systems in place, it's not like every single day, we need you to approve this post. We'll batch do the content and do all those approvals. And so it's really to make your life easier, not harder, with the social media strategy because, there's so many changes in social media and so many platforms to keep up on that we really try to start small and manageable and build up once we've mastered those different processes.
And I suppose for blog posts, you can do a bit of keyword research and find what people are looking for and respond to that demand. For social media, where do you find inspiration for content? Where does the journey there begin?
I think you can use a lot of the same tactics as you would for a blog post. For example, you can use your blogs and turn them into social media posts, but you can also do things like competitor research. So your brands in the same space, what are they posting? Are they getting good engagement on those posts? What are some accounts that you really like? And what's the type of content that they're posting as well? And then always an easy way to go about it is to have content pillars for your brand. So depending on the number of posts you have that week, or just like your brand guidelines, that makes it really easy to put together posts. For example, if you post like 3 times a week and it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, maybe Monday is always like a quote, motivational Monday, and Wednesday is, you know, a product feature, and then Friday is highlighting something about your business or telling your story. And that's a really good way to keep consistency and kind of take out some of the complications of coming up with content topics, but also to really get to connect with your audience and just give your brand personality on social media.
Hmm. And from the work that you're doing, what kind of content do you find works best? Because video seems to be all the rage right now, whereas, you know, some brands might not have kind of embraced video yet, or it's too difficult, or, you know, they have so many other excuses to not produce video. From your perspective and your experience, I suppose, you know, what's working for your clients?
I agree that video has taken a huge uptake in the last few years, and even recently with, you know, TikTok. But for some brands, that's just stretching them really thin. If they already don't have the team in place, or, you know, those assets to be creating that much video content, it is going to be a little difficult. So, you know, ways around that, for example, on Instagram, you can make animations or stories. They're not exactly video, but like if you have multiple story posts, then you can click through them and it's kind of like a video. So we try to get as much video content as we can from them, you know, whatever they can support from an operational standpoint. And then wherever we can step in as well. You know, usually I don't like for our team to be making video content that features other people because we're not their brand.
Mm.
So we will stick to trying to do animations or other types of video, or even just providing them, you know, like step by step, you know, for one of my clients, she's able to film some videos for us like one day a week. And so we'll just give her an outline of these different video topics. Here's what you can say as a guide or as like a script for her. And she can knock out those, and then we get all that back and we'll edit it. So whatever works best for our clients, we do try to incorporate as much video content as possible. But, you know, we like to keep a balance for the social media accounts. So static posts are fine. Different templates or highlighting quotes and customer testimonials, really just giving a diversity of different content on the account to really spice it up all the time.
Right. And in terms of your kind of current internal setup, you know, how have you set up your agency? Who focuses on what?
Yes, so we're still a very small boutique agency. And for a few of my initial clients, I actually just came in to oversee their internal marketing teams. So for a couple of my clients, I oversee their own teams. And so that a lot of the work doesn't actually go through my team. But I do have a couple of people on my team who help me out with, you know, specific tasks. So I have a team of blog writers, so our content team, and then a couple of gals that help me out with social media as well and graphic design. I have one graphic designer who works on multiple of our accounts, and then a couple of interns actually who step in here and there or have a certain focus on what they're interested in. So we're still a very lean team, but I would love to expand in the future.
No, that's awesome. That's still a lot of people, and I totally get. You know, you're going into, I suppose, work as a consultant to your larger clients who already have an internal team that can produce the assets under your guidance, I suppose. You touched on TikTok for a second there, right?
Yeah.
How important is it to be on TikTok right now? Everyone is talking about it has huge organic reach, as if you don't jump in now, that you know, then you're going to lose out later on or something like that. Is there a real fear of missing out, or is this one platform that we can possibly avoid?
I think that that's on a brand by brand basis as well. But, you know, from me, I would say if you can handle it, why not get on there? Because everyone thought it was going away and it's still here. And we've seen a lot of brands blow up or get viral. One thing that is really kind of unique to TikTok is the algorithm will, you can have a one-hit wonder pretty quickly and bam, your account's set for life. You've built your following, you have a new audience. So it's also a lot more casual and relatable content. So it doesn't have to be as polished. You can hop on some of the trends and really show your personality of your brand. So if that's something that a brand is open to, I highly, highly recommend it. It doesn't seem like it's going away. And so, in the future, if it's not super important to marketing for your company right now, I think it definitely will be. And so, always starting to build your audience sooner as opposed to later is the most beneficial strategy.
Right. Okay. No, that makes total sense. Moving back to another platform similar to TikTok, not quite TikTok, Instagram. For a while, Instagram seemed to be the playground of influencers, more so than Facebook, I suppose. And there's been some concern around kind of, do hashtags still work on Instagram? Is organic reach dying on Instagram? Are people abandoning Instagram? What's your take on all of that?
I think that there's obviously a lot of frustration around Instagram and social media in general, trying to always stay on top of algorithm changes or customer preferences or just even app changes in the display of, new features and things. I don't think Instagram is going away. It's a huge, huge platform. It's very, very much an established social media app, but also just a community and customer research portal. So think of Instagram kind of like your website, even if that's not where you're focusing all your time or where people are finding you and seeing you the most. It's still a vital part of your business and necessary to have. For TikTok, it's a little difficult to do research, for example. Like if someone finds your account, they're gonna have to go through every single post to read the captions. All you get is that little cover photo of every video. For Instagram, you can click on it, read the caption, you can kind of see the whole snapshot. So similar to like a website, like I was describing, you also have a lot more capabilities of providing links and direct messaging anyone. You don't have to follow each other. So I think Instagram is definitely still a very vital social media platform.
Hmm. And what a lot of small business owners struggle with is with a lot of kind of noise out there. There's so much advice and guidance there that they end up not doing anything because of, I suppose, paralysis by analysis. If someone was kind of embracing content marketing and social media marketing, but they are kind of in their infancy and they could only do a couple of things at a time, where would you advise that they should start?
I would say, you want to do probably 2 social media platforms to start out. And I would always recommend, starting a blog on your site. And so if what you can handle at the beginning is 1 blog per week and like 2 Instagram posts and, 3 short videos, then that's what I would recommend. And you pick where you want to focus your attention and where your target customers are. So those 2 social media platforms might be different for each business, but as long as you get started and really commit to that, I think you're going to see good results.
Okay, no, that's awesome. Now, we've spoken a lot about content marketing and tactics for content marketing. A lot of people who watch the podcast are essentially, startup agency owners, freelancers who want to grow their business. So, I mean, they always have questions in terms of what does it take to grow their business. So, I suppose from your perspective, you obviously had a professor at college and he gave you a project, and that's always great to have. What does prospecting look like for you right now? How do you go about picking up new business?
Yeah, so we get a lot of our business from referrals. I always say do a really great job for your clients, and that is your job, is to do a great job for your clients. And so we love when they refer us other business. Um, I do a lot of outreach and just connecting on social media, or I know Clubhouse is really new. I'm not totally into that space yet, but connecting with other marketers, other small businesses, helping them out where I can. And those connections do, eventually maybe lean into referrals, or we do our own like outbound outreach and all of that, all those different tactics
Right.
as well.
Okay, no, that's awesome. Now, you obviously started your agency in the middle or the beginning of a global pandemic. How has it been for you to essentially kind of, I suppose, manage clients' expectations, to deliver results, to build your business when they're at a time when, a lot of businesses are closing down and a lot of people are losing jobs and people are always complaining about, the economy. What has your experience been like to start up a business during the pandemic?
I think my experience is probably more positive than most in the business world. I really enjoyed it. I think it gave me a lot of time to just focus on what I was doing and, where I wanted it to go and how I wanted it to grow. There wasn't all of that outside distraction. And for our clients, I was really able to come in and play a bigger role than I think I initially intended, because, their team was remote and wasn't used to working this way. Whereas for me, like, this is how I will be working even after the pandemic, like remotely with clients. Most of my clients right now are actually out in LA. And so I've always been working remote for them. So I think the pandemic was really eye-opening for a lot of people in just not only the work environment, but also some of the different possibilities. I don't know if I would have taken the same path had I not started this during the pandemic. Who knows if I would have been going into a more corporate setting or only working for one company, for example. So I think it was all for the better for me.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely brilliant. Now, in terms of, I suppose, the last 12 months for you, what has been, I suppose, your biggest challenges then? What have you had to overcome?
Yes, I think one of our biggest challenges was kind of basically starting during a pandemic. Even though we did have a lot of referrals and really eager to help all these different businesses, a lot of our clients were hesitant to be investing in anything at that point. And so, getting over all of the no's and pushing through all of that, knowing that we can still provide value to our clients and really trying to communicate that with everyone that we talk to, even if they don't turn into potential clients, just really establishing that thought leadership and showing them the value of digital marketing, even if it's not from us.
Right. Now, if someone wanted to find out more about content marketing or get in touch with you, where's the best place to find you?
Yes, absolutely. You can find us on Instagram at Luminaria Marketing, or you can email me directly, Gabrielle at luminariamarketing.com, or visit our website, luminariamarketing.com. Happy to answer any questions and really looking forward to connecting with others in the space.
And one last question, actually, because where does the name come from? I mean, you've got a great name there, and it reminds me of Lumos, right? The spell, if that makes sense to you at all,
Yes,
from
yeah.
Harry Potter. Where does your name come from? Because I mean, it's got a ring to it.
Thank you. It took me a long time to come up with the name. I really wanted something special and I wanted it to have meaning and like a happier connotation. So I was looking at different ways to say light, to bring light to your business, to get you visible. And also, we like to work with very purpose-driven brands. Um, and so they are bringing a light to the world and a light to the people that they serve. And so that's really what our focus was, and being a light, a guiding light, or even just a happy light. So that is where the name came from.
Awesome. On that note, Gabrielle Sinacola, thank you so much for your time.